Andrea Jenkyns, she with the two fingers or with the single finger, she has a sort of American bias clearly, as well as a bright yellow dress. Dame Andrea Jenkyns objects to the new Foreign Secretary saying that we've got to have closer links with Europe. She says, we've surely got to deliver policies which speak to the new Conservative voters from the 2019 election, and rhetoric like this is not going to win as a majority. No, nor are her finger salutes. But David Cameron has said that the relationship that we've got with the EU, and which is manifest in our commitment to Ukraine and helping Zelensky, is something to build on. And there's no doubt that Britain is the leading European power in helping Ukraine. I heard that over and over again from the President downwards, but we're doing that in partnership with our European colleagues, he said, so I think we can make friend, neighbour and partner work, and I'm determined to do so. That's a positive thing. Of course, he faces opposition from people, minions like Andrea Jenkyns and Richard Drax. Who are these people? Richard Drax sounds like a character out of James Bond, Moonraker. Wasn't he called Richard Drax? Anyway, apparently Richard Drax said, you might want to remind Lord Cameron that we left the EU, no ifs or buts, and we're doing very well, thank you. Well, when it comes to buts, I suppose he should talk to James Cleverly. And Michael Fabricant has said his statement simply reinforces the concerns of those voters who think David Cameron hasn't moved on from the referendum, nor, it seems, has the UK. We've not made a positive. We've got nothing to celebrate out of our Brexit. So please tell me, Fabricant, what moving on from the referendum actually involves. Not going back, I understand. But moving on, what have you achieved with this referendum? Lord Cameron has also defended his pro-China policy and talking about the golden era of trade between China and Britain. Absolutely. Trade is a way of forging friendship. He said, when I became Prime Minister, the greatest need was for Britain to grow again, trade again, with exports to help our businesses around the world. And engaging China is one part of the approach we need to take, not least because China is a fifth of humanity. And China has the most wonderful culture that we should engage with. And we should work hard to interface and to be friends with China, and we shouldn't be put off by the naysayers. We're not going to solve challenges like climate change, says Cameron, unless we engage. Hopefully, I can be a part of that. Absolutely, I think that pronoun should become pluralized. I think we should be a part of that, and he's recently been in Israel. He said, when I met the Israeli president, prime minister and others, I stressed over and over again that they must abide by international humanitarian law, that the number of casualties is too high, and they have to have that at the top of their minds. I think at the top of their minds should be, and people in Lord Cameron's position should be, emphasising the priority of securing the release of the hostages over and above everything else. And it's a shame. It's a shame that Netanyahu did not engage with other countries before his siege. I think other countries would have been only too willing to help. And now we have to think in terms of the future of Israel. A change in leadership, a wholesale change in leadership, and questions about what level of responsibility is held for the attacks in Gaza, which have gone over what is acceptable and what is proportional, and they haven't achieved any clear goal, and they certainly haven't achieved the hostage release, which should be forthcoming after 7 weeks, to have 80% of the hostages still absolutely stuck in the dark is not an acceptable outcome.